Ready to start, restart, or re-energize your vegan or plant-based practice? You're in the right place. I'm Michelle Olander, and this is Veg Your Best. Episode 183, 12 Things You Don't Need to Go Vegan. Hello, my veg heads. Hello, my veg your besties. Hello, those of you just listening in here for the first time. Thank you very much for spending your time here. You know, I was asked recently by a client, and there are going to be a bunch of clients quoted in this week's episode. I was asked by a client if I'm insulted to find out she listens to me speed it up on her podcast app. No, I am never insulted if I find out you speed me up on your podcast app. I think you can easily listen to me at 1.25 or 1.5 speed. Let me know if you want me to show you how to do that. There are certain things I actually listen to at 2.0. I think after that it becomes a little bit comedic, so maybe I don't recommend it. But let me know if you need me to show you how to speed the episode up if time is of the essence in your podcast listening day. Now, today I am sharing some thoughts and ideas inspired by or shared by my coaching clients, and I reached out to some of them, the ones that are vegan or plant-based. And you know, if you've listened to me, you know one of the first things that I encourage my clients to do when they're stuck or when they're having trouble with some aspect of their goals or their day-to-day life, I encourage them to decide, what are we not going to worry about right now? What are we just not gonna do? You know, this can be a huge burst of energy. It can open up a lot of energy for you when you actually decide the things you're simply not going to worry about for now. And instead, you focus on building the things, the ideas, the skills, the habits, the foundation that you need for now. This is even if you already consider yourself to be vegan or whole food plant-based. There are likely areas of your life too. Vegans haven't got it all sorted, right? There are areas of your life too where you may be looking to expand in. Decide the things you're going to take off your plate. The things you're going to take off your to-do list first. Now, certainly if you are just starting to move in a vegan or plant-based direction, or you're restarting that process, there is some part of it that probably sounds a little bit impossible for you right now. Take it off your list. Honestly, just forget about it for right now. One thing I know is that if you concentrate, if you focus on the things that you can do, that list expands, and it gives you the skills and the confidence to handle the things that don't seem possible right now. In fact, if you stop focusing on the parts that seem too hard, maybe it's being vegan while traveling or during Easter or Passover, or how to eat plant-based while camping with your in-laws, or how you're ever going to replace your clothes or vitamins or change your kids' eating habits or your office work dinners, if you drop those things that currently seem unrealistic or impossible or futile right now, and just focus on what you can do, you will so energize your vegan practice. And I see it all the time. And because I'm not sure that I've said it recently here on the pod, I do personally consider veganism a practice. And maybe it's time to do another episode about that. Back in the deep cuts, episode 63, I pulled up practice. And then there was episode 69, vegan power practice. And way back in October 2020, episode number 5, What do you practice not practicing? Those are some of the episodes where I've concentrated on that topic. But probably it is time for a new one, so look for that soon. Or go back in the archive. But today, I want to share some ideas and wisdom from my clients, from the people I am working with now and who I have worked with who are vegan or plant-based in the recent past. Because one of the things I always ask my clients when they're vegan and plant-based, I always ask, what did you think you needed to go vegan? But it turns out you didn't. What did you think you needed to do or learn or be or create to go vegan? But turns out you didn't actually. Because that realization, that focus helps them get perspective on their next goals and what's coming up for them. And here they are in no particular order from some of my past and current clients. 12 things you do not need to go vegan. Number one thing you do not need to go vegan, extreme willpower. Going vegan isn't about deprivation, said one of my clients. I'm not super disciplined. It's about exploring and enjoying real food and making more and more conscious choices. And it turns out it's way easier than you might think. Number 2 of the things you do not need to go vegan, a bottomless bank account. You know, I get this from a lot of people, but this client says you do not need a bottomless bank account. Most people with access to a standard supermarket will find that veganism is not much more expensive, if at all, than being an omnivore or a flexitarian. You don't need a huge budget to go vegan. Staple plant-based foods like beans, rice, pasta, fruits, and veggies are often cheaper than their animal product counterparts. Number 3, something you don't need to go vegan. Well, that's a plant-based nutrition degree. This client says, knowing something about nutrition is important no matter how you eat, but you don't need to be a nutrition expert to go vegan. There are so many free resources available. If you concentrate on a plate with greens, grains, and beans, you're on your way. And don't forget the B12 spray. Okay, that's a little rhyme that we sometimes use in my coaching class, in my coaching work. And B12 spray is the way I usually ingest my B12. It's a sublingual spray. I can put the link to the one I use in the show notes. A lot of people find the B12 spray very, very easy to use. We can talk about why B12 another time. Number 4 thing you don't need to go vegan, you don't need to have an adversarial relationship with your doctor or your healthcare provider. More and more healthcare professionals do actually support plant-based diets for their health benefits, and they have experience helping you move in that direction, writes my client, who is someone who has a certain number of medications that she is prescribed from her physicians. Please, she writes, please do not hide this info from your medical team. You might even want to follow MDs like Dr. Lori Marbus, Dr. Michael Greger, Dr. Janelle Gordon, and registered dietitians like Ginny Messina to help you communicate confidently and effectively. I love this particular thing you don't need. I think some of us think, oh, what am I going to say to my doctor? Just tell your doctor. If you are under any kind of doctor's orders, super important that you tell your healthcare team sooner rather than later. And even for those of us who don't have any issues that are going on currently, still talk to your doctor. They will help you come up with a plan for what you need to be monitored about, maybe things like your vitamin B12. Number 5, things you don't need to go vegan. You don't need strange ingredients. You can forget about obscure superfoods or rare ingredients, says my client. She writes, most of what you need for a vegan diet is readily available at your local grocery store or even Walmart. Simple whole foods are the cornerstone of a healthy vegan diet, she writes. I still don't know my tempeh from my seitan, she writes, but I know a lot about mushrooms, and yes, tofu can actually be delicious. Who knew? Number 6, you don't need to change everything overnight. Transitioning to a vegan lifestyle doesn't have to happen all at once. Everyone has different levels of challenge and support. Take it one step at a time, advises this client. Gradually incorporate more plant-based meals into your routine and ask what plant-based options are already around you that you might not have noticed. Number 7, you do not need expensive new kitchen equipment to go vegan. There's no need to splurge on fancy kitchen gadgets like a $700 Vitamix blender, wrote this client. I had no idea Vitamix blenders were in that price range. I actually double-checked this. And I saw, yes, $700. I don't know what that Vitamix does. I'm sure there are certain specialized reasons why you might need it. But your normal pots and pans, she writes, your normal pots and pans and knives are all you need to whip up delicious vegan meals. A basic blender or food processor can be handy, but don't start with a whole new kitchen. My client adds this quotation from Thoreau. Thoreau said, quote, beware of all enterprises that require new clothes and not, rather, a new wearer of clothes, unquote. My client says, I say beware of enterprises that require new stuff. The books, equipment, and accessories won't go plant-based for you. Number 8, that you don't need to go vegan. You don't need an all or nothing mentality. Please don't stress about being 100% perfect from day one, writes this client. Each step you take towards veganism makes a difference. Aim for progress, not perfection. You'll be learning new things about compassion, health, and sustainability for the rest of your life. Number 9. You do not need an experimental palate. You don't need to suddenly develop a love for kale and quinoa to be vegan, writes this client. There's a wide variety of plant-based foods out there. You are bound to find something you really enjoy. Sam Turnbull from itdoesn'ttastelikechicken.com is one of the people this client says she follows because, quote, she veganizes the kinds of meals and flavors I grew up with in Ontario, Canada. Start by making some of the dishes you already like without animal products. Number 10, everyone's approval. You don't need it to go vegan. You do you. You don't need validation from others. I thought I had to get everyone on board before I could commit, writes my client. Me too. I thought that too. Focus on your own values, writes the client, and health, and let your friends and family see you healthy, vibrant, and proud of your choices. And number 12, you don't have to be an activist. You don't have to be. Public street activists are a part of this lifestyle, writes this client. But simply living vegan in your home and community makes a significant impact. Do not minimize it. You don't need to have all the answers about nutrition, sustainability, and ethics. You will learn more as you go, but first you need to start. Remember, going vegan is about making choices that align with your values and your health goals. Every single vegan does it a little bit differently. And I guarantee you, that's me talking now, and I guarantee you that the side benefits of limiting and eliminating animal products in your life will enhance so many other aspects of your life. I know so many of you worry that this process will be disrupting and overwhelming, or that it's too late for you and that it won't really make a difference, I get it. I thought the same way in the beginning. I was in my 50s, and that's why I do this work, because I remember all the things that sounded impossible. I thought I could never go vegan, but everything changed when I started thinking about what I could actually do. Don't worry about what sounds overwhelming or seems hard right now. Let's start where you can move in a plant-based or vegan direction. And if you're already vegan, let's start with the parts of your goal where you can move the needle. You know I'd love to be your coach and help you stop focusing on the things you don't need to do. And that always starts with a free call. You know, sometimes even one call is enough to get you unstuck and moving in the direction you want. I get messages and emails all the time from people I only spoke with one time who are now happily moving forward on their goals. And I would love that to be you as well, so that you can get out there and veg your best. Veg Your Best podcast production, music, and editing by Charlie Weinshank. Thanks, Charlie. Before you go, it would mean so much to me and the Veg Your Best team if you would hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, or share with someone you think might be interested. Something about algorithms, it helps bump us up a little in the rankings, and that's the best way to help others find the podcast and for us to find our audience. So, until next week, make it easy and veg your best.